Now that I'm covered in sunscreen, I'm back from my pool. It's 6 p.m. and raining out. I figured let's sit down and chat about some books and summer reading, aka I'm kind of overdue for my June reading wrap up as well as my July TBR list, and overall let's just chat about some new books, things that I've been loving, and all of that. This is like the 5th book related video that I'm filming today. I filmed my monthly book haul for June as well as a ton of book talk videos, so definitely follow me on TikTok if you haven't yet. And then if you like book content, check out my Bookstagram as well. My Goodreads and Amazon storefront will also be linked down below. All of the books we're gonna chat about in today's video will be categorized on my Amazon storefront, so although I do recommend shopping locally or thrifting, sometimes Amazon does have some pretty good book deals. And if you prefer to order books, I've tried to make it really easy and organized on my storefront for you. But I want to talk about my June reading wrap up, all of the books that I read in June, because something happened in June for the first time ever that I don't know if it will ever happen again in my reading journey. I mean, hopefully, that would be amazing. I had all 5-star reads for 1 month. Nothing lower than 5 stars. All 5 stars. I cannot believe it. So I'm really excited to talk about all of the amazing books I read. And then as you can sort of see, I do have a overly ambitious, once again, huge July TBR list. I am aware that I probably will not get to all of these this month. Are my shorts in frame? The shorts that I wore to the pool, just chilling. I am aware that I will not be getting to all of these in July. However, these are my priority books that I would love to read in July if possible. I mean, maybe if I read 3 books a day and started 6 days ago, because I'm filming this on July 6th, I think, then it's possible. But today I read 2 books that aren't even in this list, and I'm not going to share them with you until my July reading wrap up, because we all know how the TBR versus reading wrap up tends to go. But with all that being said, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I make a ton of book content. I'll link my book playlist down below of all of the book related videos, but I also make some lifestyle videos, vlogs, and all of that as well if you enjoy different types of content. Like I mentioned, I also make book content over on my Bookstagram and my book talk. I just love talking about books. So I don't want to say much more than that. If you follow my book Instagram account, it's just Booking It with Mac. I'm sure that you will recognize a lot of these books because I've already shared my thoughts over on there, but it's always fun to dive deeper in these videos. So let's get started. The first book that I read in June to sort of start the summer off with was The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. I loved this book. Again, all of the books that I read in June are 5 stars, so I rated this 5 stars, but it was such an amazing summer read. It felt like summer in Italy, and that's exactly what I was looking for. The story bounces between 2 time periods, present day as well as the 70s, at this villa in Italy where these 2 writers who are also best friends are staying to work on their books. But once they're staying there, they kind of unfold this murder that took place there in the villa so many years ago, and they discover things that were tucked away or hidden in the villa that add different types of evidence for the murder that took place. So it was really good, definitely very gripping. What I love about a book like this is it's sort of like a cozy yet gothic mystery without the horror. Like I could read this at night and not be scared. I also think the back describes it perfectly when it says, inspired by Fleetwood Mac, the Manson murders, and the infamous summer Percy and Mary Shelley spent with Lord Byron at a Lake Geneva castle, the birthplace of Frankenstein, the villa welcomes you into its deadly legacy. That is exactly the vibe that this book is giving. The cover feels very summery, like reading this outside under the sun was such a vibe, and I'm really glad that I started my June off reading this. Now I want to read all of Rachel Hawkins' books because I love her style of mysteries and how she like kind of captures this time period. Really well done. The second book that I read in June was Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. I loved this. It's a sapphic romance. Opal wins the lottery, so she buys a flower farm, and then Pepper lives on the flower farm. They come to an agreement to share the cabin that Pepper lives in as roommates, and you can only guess what goes on from there. But I read a lot of sapphic romances, and this one was done so well, top tier, great writing. I also really liked that Opal is neurodivergent and Pepper is autistic, so I feel like it's really inclusive and relatable in ways, and it makes them feel more real. And I just like that these characters have depth and dimension like that, because I don't see a lot of representation between various either mental health or abilities, disabilities, and all of that. So I do, not saying that autism is any of that, but you know, I feel like not many characters are that well developed to even be aware that they might be neurodivergent. So I like that Maisie Eddings always makes her characters so well rounded. I was in love with Pepper in this book. She she is just a firecracker. It was great. I think the next book that I read was the novella Woman by Chloe Cadwell. The publishing, I believe it was HarperCollins that sent me this because it's a newly published edition. The original novella came out in 2014, but I believe it was independent, and this was the first time that it's published by a publisher. But I loved this so much. You could read this in like an afternoon. I read it like basically in one evening by my pool, but it's sort of like Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, if you've read that, but queer. And she uses quotation marks. It is about a woman falling in love with another woman for the first time, but the woman that she's falling in love with isn't really available, or at least she's giving her kind of like mixed signals, and I think that is super relatable. If you have ever had a journey similar to that, an experience, or even just simply coming out, I think you'll find things in this to really relate to. There's also a new foreword in this, and they talk about how this novella was sort of like passed around as if in secret among the community, and everyone has sort of read it, and now it's like becoming more public or common knowledge. It felt kind of like an underground book, at least that's what they were describing it as. I think this will be a modern day classic. The way that it's written, it reads like a short novella classic, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I would recommend this to anybody who is in the queer community, or even if not, I think you could still find this rather enjoyable, but especially if you are queer, you'll get so much out of this. And again, 5 stars. The next book that I read around my birthday, and it's also my book club's pick for the month, so if you want to follow along, feel free. But we are reading Emma Straub's This Time Tomorrow. I loved this. I ate it up. It was so fun. It's so different. It's sort of like 13 going on 30 or 17 again. Basically, the protagonist is turning 40, but she wakes up on her 40th birthday and she's actually 16 again, and she's in her 16-year-old bedroom, and her dad is there. She has SAT prep in the morning, and she's trying to figure out why she's back, how it happened, and how to return. But her choices that she makes on that day sort of determine what she returns to at 40, and it's just so well done. I definitely cried at the end, and I tabbed a couple of favorite quotes and stuff in here. It'll make you miss your 16-year-old bedroom. It'll make you appreciate your time at whatever age you are. It'll make you appreciate your parents. It'll make you not miss your high school boyfriend. Like, I really enjoyed it. There's nothing I can compare this book to. That's how like different and unique and special it felt, and I'm really glad that I did read it around my birthday because I think it really like elevated the experience. But again, I would recommend this to any type of reader. 5 stars, highly recommend. And the last book that I read in June, I actually finished in July. I finished it yesterday, so the rating doesn't reflect my June books, and I don't think I'm going to share the rating of this. I'll share it in my July reading wrap up, but I read like 80% of it in June. That is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. This was really fun. I was not expecting to enjoy the like serial killer aspect of this as much as I did, but it was so interesting to read. It's basically about 2 serial killers that kill other serial killers, and then they have this game where they try to hunt the same serial killer, and whoever kills that person like first wins. Of course, the 2 serial killers that play this game against each other fall in love. It's more of like a dark comedy than a dark romance. And what's weird is at the beginning when I was reading this book, it had me. I was hooked. I was like, this is so great, 5 stars. Then it lost me a little bit, and I was like, ugh, I don't really like it anymore. Then it had me again, 5 stars, once again in my mind. Then it lost me, and I was like, this is terrible. Then it had me again, and then the bonus chapter lost me. Has anybody read the bonus chapter? Because what the heck was that? Like, seriously, what was that? There were a few other moments where I was like, what was that? And not like the ice cream, not like the things that you would think would have me gagged. It was like the romance part just was not hitting, and I was like, what is he doing? What is he saying? Has Brynne Weaver ever? It was kind of felt like she hadn't. That's such a rough review of it. Like, it really wasn't that bad, but what I'm saying is there were moments, here I am reviewing it even though I said I wouldn't talk about it until July's reading wrap up. I'm going to review it the way that I would 80% of the way through this book and say that it's really good so far and probably a 4-star read, because this was before I read the bonus chapter. Those were the 5 books that I read in June. Overall, it was probably the best reading month that I have had all year. 5 stars. I would recommend all of these books to any type of reader. I'm on such a great reads high. Like, I haven't had a bad read that it is kind of overwhelming to choose my July reads because I want to keep the good vibes going. But let's talk about my anticipated July reads, all of the books that I would love to read this month. I am so excited about so many of these. I mean, I'm excited about every single one, but just looking at the list right now, so many amazing titles, so many new releases, signed copies that I cannot wait to read. That's why I'm so overwhelmed by like, which one do I read first? Because I need to read all of them immediately, right now. Starting with Elsie Silver's new released, Wild Love. This is one of the books that I picked out during my birthday book shopping spree at Tropes and Trifles in Minneapolis. I have been wanting to read an Elsie Silver book for a while now. This is the first book in her new series, but I still have to read the Chestnut Spring series as well, and I think her other one as well. I'm not sure. I've only heard amazing things though about the way that Elsie Silver writes romance, so I'm excited to see if she is an author for me, and I do have a little bit of high hopes for this book, but it's only because the book girlies have hyped her up so much. I also think the cover is so cute. Definitely a summer read. Cannot wait. This next one is also a new release, and the cover drew me in. The cover is kind of why I bought it, not going to lie, but another book that I've heard nothing but amazing things about, Lauren Asher's Love Unwritten. This is a single dad live-in nanny romance. Usually not really here for that. Probably because I've been a babysitter and a nanny for so much of my life that any thought like that is just immediately yucky to me, but maybe she'll surprise me. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so I think there's additional bonus chapters or something, but I always try to get special editions when I can because there's so much more in it. Oh, there's a packing list in this, and then the epilogue. I don't know. I don't know what is the additional info, but the thing with this book though is it is book number 2 in the Lakefront Billionaire series, so if I want to read it this month in July, I'm gonna have to read the first one first. Love Redesigned. For some reason, this does not interest me as much. Maybe because it's purple. No hate to purple. I don't even know what the trope is. Interior designer? I don't know. But we're gonna get through this book so I can get to this book, and maybe it'll surprise me and I'll actually enjoy it. But I did buy both of them as the Barnes & Noble exclusive. However, I ordered them online and I had $10 in rewards. I had a $5 reward program thing, and then I had a $5 birthday coupon, and I had 10% off. So both of these books were like $9. I got both of them for like 18 bucks, which is kind of a big steal for like, look at this. Look at how many pages these are. 600 and something? I haven't read a book that big in years. I'm really excited though. I also picked out this next book at Tropes and Trifles as a birthday gift, but it's Christina Lauren's The Unhoneymooners, one of her pretty popular books, I'd say, and I want to eventually read every single book that they've written, and this one just kind of stuck out to me and is giving summer vibes. So hopefully I like it. Christina Lauren books are usually pretty easy to breeze through, which is really nice when you're looking for something to read by the pool or at the beach. So I'll let you know my thoughts on this. I got this next one from Barnes & Noble with a birthday gift card, but the gift card was from my mom or my parents, so I thought it was really fitting. I picked out One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. This is about a girl whose mom passed away, so she goes to a place in Italy that her mom used to always talk about, and then when she gets there, she meets a younger version of her mom. It's kind of reminding me of the 7-Year Slip plot. I'm not sure what else this entails, but I figured it was going to be a really fun read, and I like that it's Italy in the summertime. I mean, obviously that's what I was going for with the villa, and it's like one step away from being closer to actually being in Italy in the summertime, but until then, I'll read One Italian Summer. I am so excited for this next book. I don't know if there are many, I think those are out. I don't know when they're coming out, but there are videos where I am talking about this next one, because the next book on my list is actually an ARC, and it's from Random House and the team of literally my favorite author, favorite contemporary fiction author of our time. By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult. This is her new release. It comes out August 20th, so definitely go pre-order, but I will be reading this hands down for sure in July because I have been waiting for this book since she announced it. I follow Jodi Picoult on TikTok. She's killing the TikTok game. She's so great at it. She's so on top of trends, and she has been working so hard to promote this book. She definitely puts in a lot of effort, and I'll give her credit for that because her TikToks are hilarious, but whew. This is gonna be great. I love her books so much. If you haven't read them, read any of them. I would recommend any of them. She has so many, you cannot go wrong, but this is the next one to come out, and I'm just so grateful, honored, and shocked to be one of the first people to read it. I cannot wait to share my thoughts on this with you, and I will. I will very soon. The next book I have searched at every single bookshop for, and so many were sold out. Once Upon a Crime, Majors and Quinn, even my Barnes & Noble did not have this new release, and I've heard amazing things about it, which is why I think it was selling so quickly. But Comma Bookstore in Linden Hills had a copy. I had to buy it. Sally Hepworth's Darling Girls. This plot drew me in since the moment that I heard about it for the first time. When a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses, or are they prime suspects? A thrilling page-turner that will make you question whether the past can ever truly be buried. I don't know, it just looked really good, and the cover is like a pool, so I will be reading this by the pool. I just hope it doesn't scare me. I'm not even sure what type of thriller it is. This is my first Sally Hepworth. We'll see what I think of her, but it looks so good. This is one that I want to start like today. I mean, I want to start all of them today, which is why this is so hard, especially this next one. I say this now, but I have to read this in July because it takes place in July, and that always amplifies the experience. Like with my birthday book, This Time Tomorrow, this is gonna make it feel even better. It's Riley Sager's newest book, Middle of the Night. This came out in June. I got a signed copy of it, and I'm really excited about it. Look at that. I don't want to know too much about this book, but I do know that it's about a missing kid, right? Yeah. It says though, one July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. But it takes place in July, and that's all I want to know about it. So I hope it just has like all of that summertime night feeling, but you know, in a thriller way. And then I have two other hardcovers left that I would like to read this month. Christina Lauren's Something Wilder. I found this while thrifting back in November, and I have been waiting for it to be summer to read this because it deserves to be read in summer. I mean, look at this. This is giving summer. I know nothing about this one. I have no idea what it's about. I don't think I want to know. I trust Christina Lauren. I know it'll be easy, but like fun, romance probably. If not July, August for sure, because I have to read that one outside. And the last book on my July TBR list is the only other Jodi Picoult book that I have yet to read, but I do own them all. I just haven't read this one yet because I have been waiting until summer for it. It is Mad Honey. I also have a signed copy of this. I didn't get to meet her. It was at Half Price Books. I still haven't met her yet, but that would be a dream. It was at Half Price Books and it was signed, so I of course had to get it. But I've also been waiting until summer to read Mad Honey because the cover, the honeybees, everything about it just makes it feel like I need to read this outside while tanning. So this is a summer book for sure. Those are the 10 books on my July TBR list, so definitely let me know if you've read any of these or which one you think I should start with, or if any of these are also on your TBR list. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think I want to start with Wild Love unless I don't feel like a romance, then Darling Girls or Middle of the Night, question mark. I don't know. At this rate, I need to read like a book a day, and we all know that's not happening. Let me know your thoughts down below, and definitely subscribe if you haven't yet. Like I said, all of these books are available on my storefront, and you can find more info and more book content on my Bookstagram or BookTok and my Goodreads. With all that being said though, I will see you really soon with my next video. Bye!